Hey guys, what's up? Got a little bit of time to kill, and so I'm going to do a guest game. Not done one of these in a while. So this is where you go when you're not logged in. You're absolutely allowed to do this, and I'm going to do 15 plus 10, and we get a Caracan. So just going to see what happens. So of course I'm playing the von Hennig, and my opponent is obliging. Got an extraordinarily good record with this opening. So natural thing here is to defend this pawn. There's two ways that they'll typically do it. Okay, and here we go. Now I'm going to offer the pawn. The point is there I've got a bishop already lined up against the f pawn. I want him to take, in which case I'll recapture with my knight. Try and tempt his bishop out into a knight-queen pin. Now you've seen this a million times on my channel. So I could go for the oh no my queen early finish, early bath. If they take the queen, that's checkmate on there. But I'm going to play the regular way here. And king really has to take. There's only two legal moves. King takes bishop or king d7. Either way, you can play this. So you can actually pre-move that in blitz if you want to. And now I've got two attackers on this bishop. So what we've achieved is we've regained our pawn. We've forced the king to move, so he no longer has castling rights. And we're going to capture this bishop. So we won't have the bishop pair. It's going to be a same coloured bishop game. But he's in check. And there's not that many things he can do. He's going to have to move to a light square. You can't block a knight check. Nothing can capture the knight. So the king has to move. There's nothing for it. Then we're going to take the bishop. Wherever the king goes, you just take the bishop. And you can even pre-move this and then pre-move queen takes on g4 as well, just in case he decides to do this, which you probably shouldn't do. Because we're going to castle, we're going to get a rook onto a semi-open, no, correction, completely open f-file. So this is a horrible position for black already. Don't always win from this position, because I have an incredible ability to find creative ways to throw away wonderful positions. Now this is great. We can do this. Queen e6 here would be mate. Notice. So king g8 is inaccurate. You really should have gone back here. I'm going to go here and threaten checkmate on the very next move. So he has to spot that. So he can move his pawn. I guess move this pawn. Or bring the queen to any of these squares where she defends that. Even less, no, that doesn't work because queen takes queen. So that's out. So he really needs to go queen to one of these or push his pawn. Maybe push his pawn. Okay, that's another one. So now if I do that, queen can block. So let's castle first. And now again we're threatening this. That's the only move. Queen takes queen is mate. In your face. Very, very disgusting position to be in. Okay. Now he's trying the same thing. So knight defends the queen here. So what I want to do is I want to threaten to dive in here with mate, which I think means going to the f-file. Could go here in theory, but then g6. No real benefit in pushing that. If I go here, the queen now cannot block here. She can go here. That's out. So now I'm guessing it's going to be queen e6. At which point I think probably bishop d2, rook a e1. And that doesn't work. There we go. Let's do another one. Just for giggles. Okay. And, oh, he wanted a rematch. Sorry, mate. Okay, we'll go for Danish this time. Okay. And if he takes, you have the option. You've got knight takes c3, which is okay. But the full Danish is now bishop c4. You really want him to take again. In for a penny, in for a pound. Right, take again. You might as well. He's 2 pawns up, and he knows this pawn isn't going to live. But this is not great. Now my bishop's looking down at g7, and which means that this bishop here is tied to the defense of the pawn. It can't really come out into the board, or the rook is lost. Okay, this is a very natural move. I'm going to push and give the knight a little nudge. Okay, what are we thinking here? How about this move? I'm threatening mate again. I'm also threatening the knight. He can go here and defend both. There, knight there. Go back here, still again threatening the knight and again threatening mate. So he has to defend the knight with a pawn, right? What else have we got? If I was playing over the board, what would I play here? Would I play the Danish gambit over the board? Hell yeah. What about this? Doesn't attack the knight. Threatens mate. Then g6 again. He might then fianchetto to the bishop and castle. You don't want to allow your opponent to castle. So this is an idea. Knight comes there. I come here. I'm not actually attacking the knight because it's defended by the queen. So, I mean, is that just a stupid move? h4, preventing this. What's the right thing to do here? Queen b3 is very thematic, but then he's going to bring his queen to there. Then I come out. I also have this. Also hits the knight and threatens mate on f7. He does this move again. Then I kick him with a pawn. How about that? It's another idea. Just a different way round of doing a similar thing. The thing is, with knight here, he attacks my queen. And I don't think that works. There you go. How to beat beginners. Do another one. Sod it, why not? Okay, we've got white again. Wicked. We're just sparring. What should we do now? Play a Vienna game. See if we get a Vienna gambit. So we've had a von Hennig, we've had a Danish, we've got Vienna gambit. If he takes here, he's already worse. So the best move here is pawn to d5. So this is the line I go down in the Vienna. Oh, well, that just drops the knight. So I'll have that. Thank you very much. Interesting. Okay, this is check. Now I have pawn g3, which comes with tempo on the queen, and also defends this pawn. I mean, I can move my knight. No, I can't. I can move this knight to here or here. Don't see any real value in that, because pawn g3 works here. I think that was over exuberant. You always have to think, what can my opponent play in response to this? Now the queen has to move, can't go here, can't stay there. Can't go there because queen takes, can't go there because queen takes, can't go there because the pawn, can't go there because the knight. Which leaves her a choice of 3 squares, as I see it. None of them particularly super. Now I need to resolve this tension. Think about it. Okay, right. If he takes here, then that pins my knight. This is probably not something we want. So, I mean, I could stick my knight here. If pawn takes, that comes with check then. So, again, what is the correct thing to do? I could defend the knight with bishop d3 or pawn d3. And if pawn takes here, I get to develop my bishop for free. Just trying to get my evil on here. That's the general idea. Knight g5. No, that fails because he takes the pawn with check. I then have to get out of check, and then he takes my knight on the next turn. So that doesn't work. I don't think d3 is the end of the world here. Also unleashes the bishop, so I'm going to play d3. Right, now, before I did this, I'm careful to check that I'm not making life miserable for this bishop. Well, I'm not, because he's actually got g2 and h3, both of which constitute healthy diagonals. I think particularly the long diagonal with bishop g2. This bishop's maybe less happy, but it could wriggle round, or I've got b3 and fianchetto on b2. That's okay too. What's this knight's idea? You've always got to guard your c-pawn when the queen's knight comes out, because it's 1, 2, 3 jumps away from a bishop, king, rook fork. So should he come here? Maybe I just play bishop d2 to prevent that. Then I'm a step closer to castling. My bishop might come here. That's fine. I mean, this is also 2 moves, but this I feel is okay because it's 2 piece moves rather than a pawn and then a piece. And looks like he's got a similar idea. Okay, so I can move my bishop here at any time. It's not really necessary. This pawn here on so e5 is defended twice. He's not inclined to take here because that would really bring my bishop into the game. So I think maybe now it's time for Queenie to join in the fun, or bishop g2. Maybe the queen's going to come here. I kind of like bishop g2. Could also bring my knight in, out, shake it all about. Knight here's a thought, but that does block in the queen. Does the queen want to come out into the board? So this is, again, I'm practicing treating every opponent as though they're going to make the best moves, I hope. At the same time, laying traps in case they don't. Bishop here. Does that really pin this pawn? Say it moves forwards, I take. I don't really like the idea of pawn d5 anyway. I can always move my knight to here, I guess. Okay. Should be a developing move. That's what my gut says. And I like knight f3 in general. It's a handsome enough move. Again, if pawn takes here, probably won't recapture with the g-pawn because that gives me 2 isolated pawns on f and h. Probably recapture with the bishop. Gives the bishop better scope. It's also defended by a pawn. This bishop could come out still too. There we go. There's the move that we were slightly concerned about. Now I could pivot back to c3 and actually target the pawn. If the pawn moves forwards, I can come forwards again with tempo. Kind of like that. That's an idea. This move is less of an idea because he kicks me. Where am I going to go? Back there? No, I'm going to come back to c3. Hey, Zara, you're right. There I have 2 attackers, he has 2 defenders. Maybe queen e7. Okay, that I don't think is a great move. So before I play that instantly, I need to evaluate. I've got 2 ideas. I mean, knight in e4. There's an argument for that because it's defended by a pawn. Knight d5 is not defended. So I'm attacking the queen and this. So the queen really needs to defend the pawn. She's only got 3 ways to do it. There, or there. Each of them attacks my knight. So then what am I going to do? I'm going to have to move it again. So I'm going to stick my knight here. Kind of blocks the advance of that pawn. I don't have to worry anymore about that. I've now got great control over dark squares with my knights because they're both on light squares. This does not bother me. Bishop e2 breaks the pin. h3 just puts the question. And I think h3. If he takes here, I develop my queen for nothing. If he runs away, he's lost time, and he can't run away here because I have g4, bishop g6, f5, bishop is trapped. So running backwards on this diagonal is not a problem, is not possible. There you go. I wouldn't be surprised to see that move. Ooh, this is a bit rash. I have a check, but g6 loses the knight. I have this, but again, h6, where does he go? Right, so I think we fall back. Hang on, then bishop takes here, and I'm in check. So let us think creatively. I don't like his... I mean, he's got advanced pawns, right? But... he's not in a terrible situation. I just come back, he takes... I'll tell you what. Is it a stupid idea just to castle and let him take the knight? Pawn takes, I've got a rook on an open file then. Castles, take, no, it's semi-open. He's still got pawn here and here. Or just this. Takes, I lose castling rights, I have to block with the bishop. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the bloody world. Right, I still want to be able to castle long. You really should do that. If you push... I take with the pawn, you take with the pawn. I drop my queen back here. Yeah, I think we live. Also notice, actually, this comes now with 4. Oh, he's pushed. Alright, calculation again. Takes, takes, queen takes, knight takes. So he's doing too much with pawns, I think, right now. Can't take with the queen. Kind of has to take with the pawn, really. If pawn takes and queen takes, I'm not really threatening to take the knight because my queen will be pinned on my own king. Pawn takes, check, g6. Nope. Okay, now I think castles. Castles without a second thought, really. Again, if pawn takes, I've got knight takes. You see all the pawn moves coming up. Move 15. He's made 1. Then he made 5 piece moves. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawn moves he's made so far. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the capture. So not much different. But the point is that my pawns are relatively close to my chest. You know what I mean? E5 looks good because it comes with a threat. And the other thing you've got to say is, where's his king safety? This is an idea. That's a very reasonable idea. This is also an idea. Because pawn can't take, then rook e1 also opens up my queen's view of this knight. He might come in here with checkmating ideas, but then I've got immediate checks of my own, actually. Probably queen takes here. Probably. So this is tempting for him. He can play it. There we go, he's done it. Right. Okay, I'm going to capture a knight while I think. Okay, now this is checkmate. So we've got to be accurate now. Nothing can block the check. The king has 3 squares. This one is bad because I have a bishop fork. Right, so okay, he's gone there. All right then. I can give check again. I imagine he might go here. I'd love to move this bishop. I'd love to move this bishop with check. Or just take the rook. Take the rook with check. See, I can always just move my bishop, and I've got an out for this mating idea, which comes with tempo. Okay. Now develop. Oops, that was wonky. Develop the bishop with check. Pawn blocks. I can come here with a queen, or even just take the pawn actually. So again, it's kind of a no-brainer. Really want to develop this bishop with checks. I'd love it if you would kindly step onto one of these squares. Also have a rook. I'm 11 materials in front already. Okay, so king's in check. Can't go there, 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 there. Or there. So he's got, therefore he has to step onto a poisoned square. Okay. Now bishop here. And right, so if bishop b4, he's only got two options. Oh, no, bishop b4, he's got one option. Because queen guards that. Pawns guard these. Bishop guards that, so that's out. Queen guards this. Bishop guards this. So there's only one legal move, which is pawn c5. And if pawn c5 is that mate. No, because if pawn c5, he's got this retreat. Now, other option, queen in here immediately. He has to go there. Then my queen can come down here. Right, I don't see a finish with the bishop first. So I'm going to take step one. Comes with a check. These squares are always out. This square is out because of the pawn. Right? And that you can't be blocked, you can't take the queen. Therefore, you have to do this move. Now, bishop here is an idea. Either rook to e1 with check is an idea. I'd like to move the bishop anyway. He could go there, he could go here. Stepping onto a light square is bad because I have this fork defended by the queen. So he can't do that. He has to go back here or he's dead. But if he goes okay and fork, wins the queen. I've got hanging bishop. And that's it. So there you go. Alright, that was just nice. A little bit bullying. A little bit bullying in the schoolyard. But yeah, I mean, no harm done. You know, people are playing as guests. You get what you get. And that's it. You know, I hope giving you maybe a few attacking ideas. Don't know. But for me, yeah, it's more a case of just practicing my evil side, which I really think needs to be honed and developed. Okay, so hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. See you soon.